Hey guys, welcome back to Gunpla News episode 15 for February 2016. This is part 2 and it's time to talk about some kit and figure announcements. So if you missed part 1 where I talked a little bit about some news for this month, you can go back and check that out. In the third part, we're going to talk about some kit and figure updates. Fourth part, about some resin and third-party kits. Fifth part, we're going to talk about some featured kits. So be sure to check out all the parts for this month's episode of Gunpla News if you want to see those. In this part, we're going to be talking about just the new announcements, things that have been announced, and there's a pretty fair amount, much more than we've had last month, I think. So let's go ahead and get into this. We first have some figures. A couple of figures were announced. First one being the Robot Spirits Destiny Impulse Gundam. This is a pretty cool design. I actually like this more than either the Impulse or the Destiny separately. So I think it's a good combination of them, and I like that it's in purple. We don't often see purple color schemes, so it's actually pretty cool. I would rather have it in kit form personally, but if you do want the Robot Spirits, that's going to be coming out in June for 6,000 yen. Then the next Robot Spirits we had was the Cubile. Now this one, I don't follow Robot Spirits because I don't collect them at all. I'm really surprised that we didn't already have a Robot Spirits Cubile. I imagine that there's been, in some way, shape, or form, some figures of Cubile before. I know there's a Gundam Fix figuration, and it's like a Xenography. It's like a 2-pack you could get of the Cubile. Other than that, I guess maybe there was probably a 1-pack of that as well, of like just the regular Cubile, but it's surprising that we haven't had a Robot Spirits for that before, so now we are going to have one. It's going to be out in June, and the price has not been released yet, but I'd imagine this one as well is going to be around 6,000, 6,500 yen, something like that. Looks really nice though. It's coming with these effect parts on it that look really nice. On the HGUC Revive kit, that was a separate thing you had to get through P Bandai, so if you do just want a really nice Cubile figure, and maybe you don't want to buy the HGUC kit and the P Bandai set, this is a different alternative maybe you could look into. Then we have the next in the Gundam Gashapon Senshi-05 set. This is going to be out this month in February for 300 yen. If you're living outside of Japan, you're probably going to have to buy this online like as a set of like 10 of them or something, or just a bunch of them. It's going to be hard to get just any particular one that you want. But if for whatever reason you do want to search out any of these, this set is going to be coming with the Gundam Kimaris, the Gundam Rebake, the Gushon Rebake, I should say, the Greys, and this is a Greys in Aries color, so it's a blue color version of the Greys. Then a mobile worker in the MASH orange color scheme, as well as the mobile worker in the blue Ramboral color scheme. And then the last one is a Superior Lander. This is something from an SD, some Musha SD kit or something like that. I really don't know too much about it, but that's what it's called. Anyway, I think it's like a SD Musha version of the Superior Gundam, the S Gundam, basically. Something like that. So, there's that. Next we have a new Next Edge style that was announced, the Banshee Gundam in Destroy mode, going to be out in June for 3,000 yen. The Unicorn, the Next Edge Unicorn is going to be out, I guess, sometime before that, I guess. I forget exactly when. We'll cover that in the next part of this video. But the Banshee also looks very awesome. I think the effect part, especially for it, looks really cool. The effect part for the Armed Armor BS on there. And yeah, it just looks like a really nice figure. I've never got any Next Edge style figures, but the Unicorn and Banshee Destroy mode ones are looking really nice. So I don't know, I do love the Unicorn and the Banshee, so I might have to consider possibly one of those at some point, but I'd be afraid of like that becoming like the next Converge figures. Like I'd never had any Converge figures for a long time. I finally got a couple and now I'm like really into them and I really want to buy more of them. I don't want that to happen with the Next Edge style figures, so maybe I'll just avoid that. Then we had a couple of announcements for a couple of P Bandai kits. Actually, one announcement and one update, but I'll talk about that here just a second. The first announcement is a P Bandai MG High Mobility Type Zaku 2 Eric Mansfield custom. Bandai's been doing these MSV Master Grade 2.0 Zaku kits for a while. We had like the Yuma Lightning one and the Gabby Hazard one and a couple more maybe, but this one is now another version. It looks like the only thing that's different in parts for this is the antenna on the head, so maybe you'll just have like a new headpiece and the new antenna piece, so maybe like 2 new parts. From what I can tell, that's what it looks like. Then the other basically what's different about this kit is all color swapped, or the parts will be molded in different colors, and we'll have a sheet of water slide decals for this kit. So that is nice. The water slide decals look nice. This is going to be out, if I didn't mention this already, for 4,500 yen in May. So it's a little bit more than just like if you bought just a high mobility type MG Zaku 2 2.0 kit. But you are getting the water slide decals and a couple new parts, so I think it's not bad. But that is, of course, if you can get it at a list price. If you're living, for example, in America or something, you're going to be paying a lot more than just 500 or 1,000 yen more. Then the next thing, I'm covering this in the announcements because it was announced a long time ago and then it disappeared and now it's back. Is the P Bandai HG Build Fighters High New Gundam Influx. This was announced like 8 months ago or something. I want to just a guess. I don't know, but it was announced a long time ago, and we didn't get any news about it for a long time. So I just gave up. I stopped talking about it because I thought it was canceled. But it is back, and it's coming out in April for 3,000 yen. Finally, I don't know what happened. Why it was not put out for so long. Maybe they wanted to wait till after the holidays or something, I guess. But finally, the P Bandai High New Gundam Influx is going to be coming out. So yeah, you can check that out in April for 3,000 yen if you want. Now let's get into the just normal release stuff, the normal release kits. The first one is going to be the next in the 1/100 scale Iron Blooded Orphans line. I was expecting that this was maybe going to be it, and it turns out it is the Grimgird. We didn't have a name for it previously, but now we have a name for it as well. And the news that it's going to be our April 1/100 scale kit. Seems like basically they're putting out a 1/100 scale kit every month. So in February we have the Gushan, March we have the Kimaris, and then in April is going to be the Grimgird, and that's going to be for 2,700 yen. Looks really cool. I like the design of that quite a bit, so I think I'm really looking forward to checking that out in both HG and 1/100 scale forms. And then so we don't know after that May, we don't know what that one's going to be yet. It's probably going to be some design that has yet to appear in the show yet, because at that time the show will be finished. Like I said, the show is going to be finished in March. So the Grimgird's in April after the show is already finished. May is 2 months after the show is finished. So it's probably going to be some mobiles that we haven't seen yet. Then we also had this other news, though, that in March there's going to be two 100 scale kits apparently coming out. And this one, we don't have a name for it yet, but from the image we see here, it looks like it's just the Gundam frame. That's it. So, like, it kind of makes sense that they would release that, because in February they have the Gundam Gushan and the Gushan Rebake coming out as one set. So it would be really awesome if they released just a kit of just the frame, so that way you don't have to buy two kits of the Gundam Gushan and Gushan Rebake to be able to build both of them. You could just buy the one set and then just buy one more Gundam frame, and then you could actually build both of them. That would be really cool. But the reason why I think this is not just the Gundam frame is the price. The price is 3,000 yen. That's more than the price of just the Barbatos kit. So that makes me think that this is not just the frame, or if it is just the frame, it's a much more complex kit of just the frame than we had, like the frame for the Barbatos or the frame for the other 100 scale kits so far. So really don't know what to think about that so far. Like I said, the price of 3,000 yen is what really throws me off on that. It would be cool to just have a 1/100 scale kit of just the frame, but I don't think that's going to be what it is. But it's very weird for them to show the silhouette of that and then for it to not be that. So very, very interesting. Looking forward to seeing what exactly is going on with that. We'll just have to see. But so that's it for 1/100. Let's get into the HG scale. For the first thing that we have going to be coming out the end of this month, it's kind of out of nowhere, is the Gundam Barbatos Form 6. And this is going to be coming out in February this month for 1,400 yen. It's basically just a new version of the Barbatos, and it has different, basically most all of the armor is different on it, basically. Maybe the legs is the same, but new feet, and people are torn. I've seen on the internet, people are already, either they love the high heels or they don't. Personally, I love kits with high heels. These are a little extreme, even for me, but they look pretty cool anyway. They're interesting feet. New shoulders are looking interesting. Those are pretty obviously stolen from another kit that's coming out. And then the weapon, I think the weapon has probably been the biggest thing people are talking about. At first, it just looked like some big like club thing. Now we've seen later images of it that it actually like opens up, and there's like a chainsaw blade inside. So it's basically like a tree lopper, like the thing that you use like to reach up and like cut the branch off of a tree. So a very, very unique and interesting weapon there. It would be interesting if this is maybe what, maybe this, I don't know, I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe this is what is going to be the 1/100 scale kit coming out in March for 3,000 yen. Maybe it's the Barbatos with this new armor parts. I don't know, that's just a wild guess, but that would explain why it would be a little bit more expensive than the regular Barbatos kit, and why maybe they're just showing the frame, because if they show the outline, it's super obvious. But I don't know. Anyway, enough about that. But so that this Form 6 Barbatos is out soon. Then we also have the HG, another Grays variant. We don't have the official name for this one yet, but it's another blue variant of the Grays. Again, different parts for the chest, different shoulder parts, so the most obvious thing. Different part on the head. It has, I don't like, it's like an axe on the top of its head, an axe blade. It looks really weird, kind of stupid. The shoulders here, you'll obviously notice that the shoulders of this are almost identical to the Barbatos Form 6 shoulders, so there's obviously going to be some relation to that. This suit gets captured by Tekkadan or something, or whatever. Something happens that they end up sharing the shoulder armor there. But for the most part, it's just another Grays variation. Looks pretty cool, though. This is out next month in March for 1,200 yen. Then we do have a couple of other silhouettes here for a couple other, the next couple HG Iron Blood Orphans kits, MSE and MSF. MSE is our Gundam frame again, so just like the 1/100 scale, it's just the frame, but the price is 1,400 yen. That's a higher price than just the standard Barbatos kit, which is 1,000 yen. So you can also see here in this image, you can also see it shows the box dimensions. The box dimensions for the MSE are larger than the ones for MSF. Now MSF is obviously probably a variation of the Grimgird, because it looks almost exactly like the Grimgird, so I think it's going to be just a color swap or very slight variation to the Grimgird there, basically. Either way, it's a very perplexing thing with that kit. So if you guys have any idea or any clue about that, probably a couple days after I upload this video, there's going to be some news and we'll see exactly what it is. But at this point, it's very mysterious. Anyway, next we have the next couple character stand plates coming out. Character stand plate 4 is going to be McGillis Farid, out this month for 500 yen. And I think we knew about this. We had like an image of this before, but I hadn't talked about it before, so that's why I'm including it with the announcements. So that'll be really great to have that character stand plate for McGillis Farid. We can use that, with a couple of different suits, either the Schwalbe Greys or his new mobile suit. Then we're also going to be having character stand plate number 5 of Kudelia Aina Bernstein. I'm trying to pronounce that name from Japanese to English, and it's an English name. I don't know, kind of pronunciation was not perfect on that, I'm sure. But anyway, this one, we don't have any price or release date for this yet, but obviously the price is going to be 500 yen, 540 yen, same as always. And the release date, I would assume, would be March. Interesting that they're putting out another one of a non-pilot character. So we had the character stand plate before of Orga, who as of yet has never piloted an actual mobile suit, and the same thing for Kudelia here. But I'm sure that will be popular. A lot of people like her. And the thing about these character stand plates is that they're not only for stands, they advertise them quite a bit to be as just like decoration pieces as much as actual like useful bases for your Gunpla. So anyway, that's cool, I guess. Then the next couple of bits here are interesting. We have a couple of kind of re-releases of HG kits. We have the HG Full Armor Gundam Thunderbolt version, but it's the Gundam Thunderbolt anime version now. So before we had the Full Armor Gundam in just the Thunderbolt manga version. Now we have the Thunderbolt anime version coming out in April for 2,700 yen. Basically, it's a very slight color change, and the stickers will be also slightly changed. So in terms of plastic, it looks like there's going to be no difference at all in the actual molding. So if you were just painting your kits, there's absolutely no reason to buy this one or the previous one. They're exactly the same. So that's that, and then there's also going to be a Gundam Thunderbolt anime version of the HG Zaku 2 and Big Gun. Again, it's just color swapped, maybe some different stickers like that. This one is also out in April as well for 4,100 yen. So the good thing about this is that it seems like since these kits were released, Bandai hasn't been producing them that much. And maybe that was in preparation for this because they didn't want to have too many of the old ones circulating around, so that they want to push the sales of these new re-release color versions. I don't know, but the point is that for me personally, the Full Armor Gundam, it's barely different. The Zaku 2 and Big Gun, I think the new colors is definitely a big improvement. That was one thing. I really like the design of the older kit, and of course you can paint it, but it just in terms of the out-of-box colors for it, the old one, the Big Gun, was like blue and purple. It looked really dumb and ugly. I know that's how it looks in the manga, but like I think having it just all in gray like this is a much more realistic look for it. Just kind of much more basic colors, I think. For it looks a lot better. So I never picked up any HD Thunderbolt kits before, so definitely looking forward to checking those out. Both of them actually. After the first episode, after watching the first episode, I was like searching online. I was like, I gotta get a Full Armor Gundam kit, and it's like sold out on like all the Korean sites here. So I was like, dang, well, all right, I'll just wait. I have plenty of stuff to work on. I'm not like in any hurry to buy any just like standard release kits. But now I got some news that it's actually being like re-released, so I'm sure I'll be getting one at that time. So really looking forward to checking that kit out. And the last thing is just that we got some more news about the SDX standard line. If you guys saw my review of the Astray Red frame, I was halfway ready to believe that the SDX standard line was pretty much just done, because we had news for like all the kits up to the Astray and then nothing more after that. So I thought, maybe they just wanted to put out, just a few kits and that's it, and that was kind of be the end of the line. But turns out I was wrong. There are going to be more. They are just waiting a while, I guess. So they have now given us news about the next 5 kits in the series, which are going to be coming out over the course of this year. So they're going to be much more spaced out than the ones we've had so far. Before, they've been like 1 every month, and even before that, at first, there was like 2 per month. So they're kind of slowing down more and more, getting more spread out. But the first one is going to be the SDX Standard Destiny Gundam out in April. And the thing about these, they're all going to be 600 yen, so I'm not going to mention the price, just the release date. They're standardly 600 yen. So the Destiny is out in April, which actually looks pretty nice because you've got the beam rifle and the cannon and sword on the backpack, so it looks like you'll actually be able to use those. Not sure how well the cannon's going to work, but should be interesting to check out anyway. I'm not the biggest fan of the Destiny, but I'm looking forward to checking that out anyway. And then after that, the Barbatos Gundam will be out in May. And in July, it looks like either the Build Burning or the Try Burning. Can't tell too exactly, but it's one of those two. Out in July, and then in September will be the Death Scythe Hell Gundam EW, Death Scythe Hell Custom, whatever. I'm sure it'll be labeled as EW, just like the Wing Gundam Zero. That's out in September, and then finally in November is the Shinanju. Now, that's awesome because I love the Shinanju. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to having to wait all the way till November to get that. But the other interesting thing to note about this is the first antagonist mobile suit in the line so far. So basically it's just been like all the big main leads. We had like the Gundam, the Exia, the Strike Freedom, the Ale Strike, the Wing Zero, the Astray. Astray is not really a big lead, but anyway, it's not an antagonist mobile suit. This is the first enemy mobile suit that we've had, and it's very interesting that it's not a Char Zaku or just like a regular Zaku. So you'd have to think that they would probably do a Zaku kit in the line at some point, but because this line is not sold in Japan, and it's targeted for outside of Japan audiences, I think if you compare to which one is more popular, the Shinanju or just like a Char Zaku, probably outside of Japan, the Shinanju is probably more popular just because it's more recent in terms of just the anime. So a lot of like more younger, newer fans are going to be more turned on by the Shinanju than just the like kind of old school Zaku. So I guess that would be kind of maybe why that's happening, but it's just sort of interesting. So that's it for all of the announcements for this month. So pretty good amounts, some pretty cool stuff coming out. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next part. We'll talk about some updates. Bye bye.